Guys, we're going to get started with designing your element book. You've already figured out how to set up the file, but I'm going to talk about how I would get started with this project. So first, you'll notice in Dropbox that there is a folder that has all the photos combined in there. So you can just click on the side over here and just hit download, and it will allow you to have all of the photos that everybody used. So I've downloaded that already, and I've downloaded the text that is on Moodle. So I have all of the materials I need. Next, I'm going to determine my fonts that I'm going to use. So I showed you a slide before when I talked about Google fonts and combinations to try. So I thought that would be a good way to start, is to use Google fonts and show you how to do that. So I'm going to choose this version that has, let's slide down, it has Oswald and Old Standard. So I have to download those. So I'm going to go to fonts.google.com, and I'm going to find Oswald and Old Standard. So I'm going to just go over here on the right, and you could look at more than these typefaces too, but I'm just going to Old Standard, here we have, and I'm just going to hit the plus symbol, and I already did that for Oswald. So then I'm going to go down here to the bottom, and you'll see that once you have those fonts selected, you don't really have to worry about embedding this here. You can just hit the little download button. So I'm going to download the fonts, and you'll see on my browser it downloaded it here. I'm going to say Show in Finder, and I am going to right click those fonts, go Copy Fonts, and then I'm going to go and find my folder for my element book, and under content I'm going to right click and paste those fonts. So I have them with me. You'll notice I have all the photos and I have the definitions in there as well. So I'm going to double click it so I can open them up, and I can delete the original zip file. So now I have these fonts, and the easiest way to download these is I can either double click each individual file, or I can go down here to Font Book, which is in your Applications folder, and I can just hit the plus symbol here and find my folder that has all the fonts, and it will basically load any fonts that are in the fonts folder, and just go open and do that. So then I should have everything loaded now into, so I'm going to close this and these, minimize that. So now I have my fonts loaded, I have all the content. Now I need to get started and actually designing in InDesign. So we've already created our file with 28 pages, and we've created some master pages. So now I'm going to show you how you could base your design off of your sketches. So here is the sketches that I showed you guys in the lecture. So I'm going to create some master pages based on what I've created here. I don't need to worry about the cover and back. I don't need a master page for that, but I'm going to first start with one of these things. So first I'm going to create this content, the idea that the photo would be in here. So I'm going to go over here under Rectangle Frame Tool and choose Ellipse, and basically make a super big ellipse, however I want. And I'm going to give it a stroke, so you can see, and I wanted to have the little cross hatching there, so I'm going to under type, I'm going to choose straight hash, and I'm going to make it super big like that. And I can even say, I'm going to not have it full color. Maybe I'm going to make it black, but make it gray. For now, I'm going to design first in all grayscale, and that way I can make changes to the color as needed when I actually put the content in. But now I just have it so I know what the right contrast is. So I'm going to have that, and then I'm going to have the inside of the photo. I can leave it as empty, but just so you can actually see where it is, I'm going to give it a color, and I'm just going to make it a slightly darker color, because usually photos have a sharp edge like that. And then I'm going to go over here in the text box, and I'm going to make a text box about how wide I would want it to be. So I want, this is going to have the body text in here, so I don't really care that has any text in there for now, but for the sake of demonstration, I am going to put something in there. I'm going to put in 12 point, and I'm going to choose the typeface. And if you recall, I chose Oswald and Old Standard. And so Old Standard was the serif, which was the body. So I can go in here and choose Old Standard 12 point, and then I can just for the sake of illustration, I can go type insert placeholder text. Now you don't have to do this. I'm just doing this so you can actually see what it looks like. I'm going to select it and just make it black for now. You can even determine the size now playing around, but I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'm going to put a header over here. So I have this content, and then I'm going to put header. I'm going to make this maybe white for now, and then I'm going to choose the Oswald typeface, and I might make it bold and make it a lot bigger. Might even need to type in a number here. Oops, a little too big. I'm going to, right now, because it's condensed, I'm not going to track it out very much. I'm going to change the kerning to optical just in case. I'm going to leave this to align to the left for now, but I could decide to center it later on as I see it with the imagery. For the sake of it, I'll just center it so you can see. Leave it at that. And so for now, I kind of have that space off of here. So I've created that. In fact, I could even select this type and go over to paragraph styles. Okay, and you can choose. I already had these two created, so I'm just going to delete those. And I am going to delete all the stuff that came with it. And I'm going to change this type. I'm going to make it back Old Standard. And then you can make it like about the size you think you want it to be. I'm going to go under paragraph formatting, uncheck hyphenation because I don't want to hyphenate it. So you're like, okay, maybe that's a good size. You know, you can always change it later. You could change the kerning to optical, and then just hit new in paragraph styles, and it will automatically save your settings here. And I'm just going to name it body, text, press OK, and then I'll select this as well, the header, and hit that and put header. So I have those in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go and do another one. So for the sake of it, I can actually copy some of this content so I don't have to recreate it. I'm just going to move it around. So I'm going to do this version next. So I'm going to copy all of this content, go under pages, and paste. And I couldn't remember what I just did, so I'm going to copy that over here too and just see what I had planned. So I wanted this on the bottom, so I'm going to move the header over here. So this is a good example of like, oh wait, this text is white and it's not going to show up. Well, it's okay, even though it has a style selected for it, I can still change it. So I'm going to change this to black, and I made the alignment over on the left. So that's fine, and I can even move it up if I wanted to use the guide there. And so you'll see I have the text over here, and I actually have, looks like I have I have it wider. And then I'm going to make this a whole lot bigger. So holding down the shift key, I'm just making it a lot bigger and moving it down. And it looks like it's even bigger than that. You can either scale it proportionally like a true circle, or if you wanted it just to be a curve, I'm just going to widen it here. So you can determine what you want to do. And one nice thing is that let's say you wanted for this, if you wanted to do a text wrap like you had this curve here, you could actually open up the text wrap panel, and you can choose the text and say, I actually want to curve it around these objects. So see if you have